Hello and welcome to our video on how to revise multiple documents at the same time in InfoPoint. Okay, now previously you should have logged into InfoPoint and you'd be at the project that is related to the documents. So that would be this, you can tell by the project name there. Right, and you will have more than one document that you're trying to update at the same time. And so we're going to go through an example here. So I've got just some test documents here. These are documents Excel 001, PDF 001 and Word 001, and we're going to say, well, we've got revisions to upload to those, and we're going to do them all in one go because there's similarities between it, and so it's a little more efficient if you do it this way. So the first thing we do is we tick the boxes on the left to select those documents. We then need to add them to our what we call the document widget. So you come down the bottom, there's a little add button there, click add, and you'll see it now says there's 3 documents selected and it's got their names listed here. If you found something was incorrect, you could click that little X, which is next to the one that you don't want to be revising. Right, so we'll tick it again and go and re-add it again. So there's our 3 documents. We'll then come down and there's the revise symbol, a little square with like a pencil on it. So we're going to revise those selected documents. Okay, that brings us to this screen, and we get to now drop the documents in here. So I'll just bring up our Windows Explorer here, and so the Excel file's the one at the top, so I'll grab our little test Excel file, I'll drop that one into there. The Word document, I'll drop that into here, and the PDF document will drop into there. Okay, so we've now loaded the files. All the bars are green, which means the files have actually been transferred. We click next. Okay, so the status on all these, because initially when we load up we set it to draft, so we're going to change that now, and we're now going to make this it's gone from draft. We're now going to say these are preliminary. Okay, the discipline, that should be the same. We're not changing the documents. We're not it's just a revision to the document. It's not something any new, so that information probably won't have changed. Next, come down. Who's going to be the approver of these documents? This would be the project manager that you're working with. So you drop down. If that's not the correct name, you could drop that down and select the person that is appropriate as to who is the project manager. Okay, the approval authority priority. Okay, we'd leave that as medium. You could make it different if you need to, but that would typically be correct. Okay, the document title shouldn't have changed. It's the same document, it's just a revision to that document. The revision date quite possibly has changed, and so what we'll do, we'll change this, we'll make it today's date, and we'll say it's the same for all of them, so we'll just hit the copy down button. That'll populate all of them with the same date. If that was incorrect, you could come back and change the appropriate one, right, and make that there. The author company, that shouldn't have changed. They'd be coming from the same place. You don't need to worry about the transmittal link, the management link, or the project admin link. Document description. Now we left this blank last time. It is a good idea to fill it out. It's a very useful piece of information, but it's not a mandatory field. Anyway, for the sake of time, we'll leave that blank, but I would recommend that you fill in your description if it's not already there. If your document's already there, the description should not have changed. Okay, document number, that should not have changed. The document type should not have changed for a revision, but the revision number certainly will have changed. So we're going to up all of these. So we'll make this document, it can now be revision 1.1. We'll say that's 1.6, and this can now be 2.1. Okay. Then these are the revision comments. It is a small area, but you can type in as much as you need to type. It'll extend out. So in this case, we'll just say, again, I'm not going to be very creative, we'll say it's a new revision. You should actually be typing in what is on the document. If the document actually has revision comments on it for what the revision is for, that should be what's being typed in here. So we'll leave those, but that's what you do. You'd go into each one of these, update the comments on the revision as to what the revision is for, and then you click save. Fairly straightforward. What that'll do, That will send a message to the approver. They can then go and review the documents and the metadata that you filled in, make sure that's correct, and if that is the case, they will then approve the documents, and then those revisions will turn up down here in your project related documents, and they will then be the latest revisions that are sitting on top. You'll know there's a revision because there'll be a little plus mark turn up in this column here, and that way it'll be indicating that there's more than one revision to that document, and it's the latest revision that is the one that is obvious and the one sitting at the top. Alright, that's all there is, and so thank you for participating in this training.